I'm Demon Gund, and in this video I will be giving you an overview of the hide volume system in Talespire, and when and why to use it. So at present in Talespire, there's no control that the GM has over the player character's camera except locking it in cutscene mode. But it's not very often that you're in cutscene mode. Primarily you're going to be in exploration mode or even turn-based mode. And in those modes, the players are free to move their camera and do whatever they want. So in this example, even though the players are outside this building, they're free to raise and lower the height filter here and see everything that's going on. And what they could really do is they could go down here and they could see that there's a big nasty in the basement. Hide volumes are a way to circumvent that. And it should be said that at the token level, so here's my token down here, and there's some tokens over here, some Clockwork Warriors that we're looking at. As a GM, I have assigned this token to myself, and so if I switch to the player view, these tokens are not in line of sight. So there is some line of sight happening in Talespire, but there's no fog of war yet. And because there's no fog of war, we need to use, well, I need to use the hide volume system. So why and when to use hide volumes? So hide volumes are about controlling the information accessible to the players. And really that comes down to a DM's style and preference. In my example here, this is a very suspenseful scene, right? I want the players to wonder what is inside this building. And while I could trust them to go ahead and see it and then roleplay their characters accordingly, I don't even want to give them that option. And so in the case of this church, in that example, there are no hide volumes. In this example, there are. And so here, if they try to look inside, there is nothing. And this is accomplished by the hide volumes that I have set up. So hide volumes really, because of how complicated they are to work around, there's only a couple times when you should use them. This is when you're doing dungeon crawls, or you're wanting to build suspense, or maybe they're exploring a large forest and you don't want them to see all of it at one time. When not to use them is when it's like maybe a non-threatening encounter. Maybe it's just like a village, and some of the characters want to go to the armor shop or something like that. Like there's no combat necessarily. So you don't really need to architect for hide volumes in that sort of situation. But any sort of dungeon or maze, or any kind of standard dungeon crawl, you probably want to use them. And again, some groups don't. Some groups the DM just trusts them. When architecting for hide volumes in a map, there are a couple of goals. My goals when I'm architecting a map around hide volumes are to have the fewer hide volumes, the better. And I can demonstrate that here. So there's this room that I've actually put together over here. So when you're putting together your hide volumes, right now there are no systems for grouping hide volumes or for any sort of notes. You just need to know that when you open this door, a particular number of hide volumes are going to need to be revealed. In this case, when they open the door here, I know as the GM, I need to come in here and then reveal this hallway. And they cannot yet see into these rooms. And now I'm going to go ahead and demonstrate if your Talespire map creator has accounted for hide volumes, how quickly they can actually be added. So here's a church, exact same copy of this church. And it's going to be a little bit distorted just because I've done this 3 or 4 times now. But let's go ahead and add hide volumes to it. So this hallway should be visible. The front door. So when they first walk in this church, they should be able to see these doors on either side. Just want to get the bottom height correct, just down to the floor. So this hide volume here should control all parts of the floor up to that front wall. There and there. And we want to make sure that we get all the way to the end, but not so much that we're like deleting the outside wall of the church. So I think here's about correct. I can't really tell height. Actually, I can see the shadows, how they're disappearing at the top. That means that I've probably got my hide volume interfering with the ceiling. So I'm going to lower it down. We're going to do the first room here. This is the room that goes down into the basement. So you just keep going down until you get all of the floor, but none of the basement down there. And again, check to see if, see, I got roof. Go down. And it should be very clear, whoever goes and grabs this from Tails Tavern, how to do this. It should be very intuitive. That's my goal when I build these boards. And this is all during this time in which we don't have Fog of War yet. At some point we will have Fog of War and we won't have to do this. That'll be a very great time, actually, because it's a lot of work to plan around this. See, I got the ceiling there too. So all in all, someone can go grab this from Tails Tavern, and in just a few minutes have it totally set up with hide volumes, if the builder took them into account from the beginning. Hopefully from the beginning. Hopefully they didn't have to do a lot of refactoring on their board to get it to work. Oops. So I don't think I got much. Oh. Okay, I think that's more or less all of the stuff up here. But wait, there's more. We gotta do the basement. So this one's a little more difficult to target. But it should be pretty simple. It should just be a square. If I can get it targeted. Oh, I'm way low. Here we go. Something like that. Sorry if this is hard for your brain to parse. I've done this a lot, so there we go. And you just kind of move this out to make sure everything's hidden. And you go up here, and anything that is red is going to be hidden by those hide volumes. So you just kind of look out for it. Like if those hide volumes had been higher, this section, see how this whole section of the roof is gone? That means that I need to tweak that hide volume a little bit. Come on now. Just lower it down. Take another look at it. And there you go. Because I planned around hide volumes, someone could go grab this and in just a few minutes set up their hide volumes. And it's pretty intuitive. Like I shouldn't even need to include notes on like how to do that. So I hope that helped kind of give you an overview of what hide volumes are, why you would use them, when you would not use them, and kind of the speed at which pretty much anybody could set them up if the map is built correctly. Yeah, so stay tuned for my other videos where I get into the details of how I actually architected my board to allow that to happen.